Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
When you were there, did you golf?
No.
You did not golf.
I am not a scratch golfer at all.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
Let me share with you some golf science. Let me share with you some...
Is this going to be parabolas and trajectories? Are we going to be talking about forces and velocity?
It takes 2,500 gallons of water a day for one golf course.
Is that bottled water? Is it leached?
Likely. That is, just to put some math on this, that is 139 gallons a hole. Okay? That's basically what that works out to. A day. Like per day.
Sure.
Per every day. Yep. This is how many. So one round of golf in Las Vegas uses basically as much water as a family of 4 uses in 4 months. That's basically how much water you need for one round of golf.
For one round of golf.
Now, how many courses do you think Las Vegas has? Now, factoring in all that water.
I know that there's
how many?
I know there's at least one.
Yep.
I saw it at the Wynn.
Definitely one.
I saw there's at least one. Can I
extrapolate that?
Can I guess? Okay.
Yes.
Is it in 3 figures?
It is not in 3 figures.
Okay.
It's 2 figures. I'll give you that.
2 figures?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna guess 40.
61 golf courses. It's
okay.
Okay. So in the 280 biggest cities in the States, Las Vegas has the least amount of rainfall, like 4.5 inches a year. And ladies know that's a terrible amount of inches for a year. Sorry, that was really pandering.
And if you can hear, my wife-to-be is sobbing in the next room.
Very contrived, awful setup. But 4.5 inches of rain a year, the least in the country. And they have 61 golf courses where there should be none. There should be -2 golf courses in that town. Like, there shouldn't be any.
There should be golf courses, but they should be maintained based on the local flora. So there's a lot of sand wedge play,
sand traps.
Right. It's going to be nothing but short game.
It's going to be it's going to be a very frustrating game for you.
I think that would be what you do.
It would be kind of funny,
right?
That I'd be okay with.
Okay,
but
I would totally be fine with that.
Green golf courses is inexcusable. Like it's just absolutely unbelievable.
You know what? I have no argument there. I don't golf per se, and I certainly don't need to go to Vegas to do it. So, yeah.
Okay, so where do we go from here? Lake Mead is going to be dry by 2021, they're predicting. Or maybe even sooner, and that's where the, big bulk of where the water's coming from. And like, just because the sheer waste, like that enormous fountain that they have, even they say, oh, it's all recycled. Well, that's great, but
it's all evaporating.
It's evaporating.
In seconds. Like you do not sweat when you're there. Yes.
No, it's preposterous because just the water just evaporates into nothing. It's the fucking desert. Like, why do you have an enormous fountain in the desert? Because it's pretty. That's why. Okay. What I do like about the city. Here's what I do like about the city. Okay. I found one thing in all my research, and I found one thing. You're not allowed to, spray your sidewalk with water. Nope, that's something true. I like about it. It's illegal. You can't do it. Good. And they're starting to give rebates for getting rid of your pardon me, little booster juice ingestion.
See, right there. That's why I'm never going to have booster juice right there.
You can get $1. You can get $1.50 for every square foot of lawn you get rid of. So if you're not watering your lawn, they pay you for that because they're running out of water. Yeah. So if you don't have a lawn, you can get a rebate or something like that. So that's something I do like about the city.
Yes.
However,
the one good thing.
Here's what's happening in Las Vegas right now like in perspective to the rest of the world.
I love that you came in with green paper too. That's the other thing. You hippo commie. Okay, fine.
300,000 people are currently without basic food and shelter in that town. Okay. Las Vegas is #1 in foreclosures, #1 in bankruptcies, #1 in unemployment, #1 in suicide, #4 in divorce,
I'm gonna stop
and
you at
#7 in depression.
Okay, I'm going to stop you at suicide because a lot of those people are implants, okay? They've come in thinking they're winning the big one. And then the next thing you see is that they're going to be dangling.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. And
just saying,
you're making my case.
Some of these are
Las Vegas killed them.
They're out of towners.
Las Vegas killed people from out of town.
They can't handle it. They're so much fun
because the city killed them. You're not making a case.
The city didn't kill them.
You're making my case. You're making my case for me. All of your counterpoints are in my favor.
Those numbers are padded.
No, they're not. It's their #1 in suicide. They're #4 in divorce. #7 in depression. You're like, no, Forgie. Here's the thing. They're from somewhere else.
By the way,
that's worse.
7 in depression. I find that hard to believe.
Should be higher.
Oh no, I think there's like 6 other cities out there going. Well, this is what gets me. There's people in 6 other cities going. Maybe Vegas will cheer me up. That's what I love about that number. Nice.
I love that your counterpoint was like, no, they're from Kansas or some shit.
Exactly.
That doesn't make a point at all.
Here's the thing. They saw in the same way that my good soon-to-be wife and I went for a vacation in Bruges because we saw the movie In Bruges and loved it.
Yeah.
You got to know there's a lot of people leaving Las Vegas going, that's my out.
Fine.
That's my out.
Fine, but it's still killing them.
But to taint that on the back of a Nicolas Cage project.
My point is that people, that there's this perception that it's like this happy place.
It's not.
Horseshit.
It's not.
It's total horseshit.
Right.
It's a depressing, awful place. You know, and just because it's shiny doesn't mean that it's happy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, otherwise my forehead would be very happy.
Here's the way it goes for me.
Yes.
And you make very salient points. And I certainly would not live in this place.
No.
And when I go for very specific reasons. It's like, oh, I'm going to spend time with the missus. We snap off, we just deconnect for like 3 or 4 days.
Sure.
That's it. I could not spend a week. Like a long weekend, 3-4 days. That's it. Like you've seen everything you do. You go, you do a little bit of shopping. You walk the strip. You have some really nice meals because they have become a bit of a foodie paradise. But that's what you do. You know, you walk around. That's it.
See, for me, I would go to New York. I would go to Chicago. There.
I also enjoy those cities.
It's not a succubus.
No,
you know
I
what
understand that. But there are times where it's just like the fun of it. Like there's that ability to, hear me out.
I'm hearing you out.
There's just that opportunity for myself. I can go, I can stop in, I can drop a few, baubles at the blackjack table.
Right.
I can, purchase a beverage and walk the streets with it.
Mm-hmm.
I can just enjoy the fake sights, but there is a kitschiness to it. And I think that's what gets me to it. Allow me to say this.
Yeah.
In the same vein.
Yes.
Where if, let's say we were having this argument against camping.
Yes.
Okay. And I have no problems with camping.
Right.
But here's the thing. I know what I'm getting into when I start camping.
Right.
And there's going to be a whole bunch of aspects about camping, which I would have, I guess, I don't know what the opposite of green paper would be. I would be, what is it that rapes a planet? What color is that? Something in the blue Conservative Party of Canada?
No, I think blue's fine.
That's fine.
Yep.
So I would have a blue sheet of paper here going, I slept on a rock and it was uncomfortable. The birds got me up at 5 and I ran out of booze by Tuesday. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and not that you use that voice. I'm making
Terrible impression of me.
I'm making it for the Republican that would be making these points. You go into camping knowing what it's about. Like, yes, I'm going to be shitting outside. Yes, I'm going to be waking up with the birds. Yes, there'll be napping. Yes, I got to make sure I bring a shit ton of liquor if I want to, have that as part of this thing. I understand that. You need to know what you're getting into on this.
Counterpoint.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that you didn't have to build a fucking Hoover Dam and burn a whole bunch of coal plants to actually power the woods.
Okay. Can I tell you something?
And I'm pretty sure that a whole bunch of college funds weren't pissed away because of the forest.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Whereas Las Vegas has broken a lot of families.
Okay. One thing I have to say to that.
Yes.
You do not know how I set up a campsite. The first thing I do, I set up a
you're
dam.
right.
I set up a dam.
Absolutely right.
Yeah. Oh, look, there was one built by the beavers. Knock it down. I'm building my own. That is,
Yes.
I want to control my water source.
Yes.
I'm going to do my Kaibo right near it because I want my running water.
And if you didn't have fun camping, that's fine because a whole bunch of flyers that have hookers' anuses on it weren't made to get you camping. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, that's the only reason they got me into the woods in the first place. I was told very succinctly that Brittany with 2 eyes and an E was going to be there.
Camping isn't number one in bankruptcies. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not.
Really? They're homeless. They're effectively homeless. That's why you're camping. I can't remember whose joke that is. It's like, the camping is just the homeless.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
So, yeah. Okay.
And camping doesn't need, it doesn't need all the constant maintenance that Las Vegas does, and it isn't in the middle of the desert.
No, really. Until you're asked to pick up at your campsite. Yeah, exactly.
So any complaint you could have about the woods is still not a horribly irresponsible city. You know what I mean? It isn't a city that shouldn't fucking exist. It should snap off and drop off into the ocean. You
raise amazing points. I get it. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
And I imagine my left hook on camping was probably ill planned on that. It played right into your argument.
I'm glad you at least took a punch. I'm glad you at least punched.
I completely understand. But I do see it as sort of like that vacation. You're right. Go to Chicago, go to New York. Absolutely. I do love those cities.
Yeah.
But there are times where I just like to go, you know what? I like a bit of fake. You know what? Not everything needs to be Shakespeare. That's why we have fucking 2.5 Men, a show I hate, by the way.
Right.
But 2.5 Men is, rocking the tube. And that's going to be for people out there, right? So I understand.
Yeah.
It would be nice to have some more civil consciousness about that, and I would support a lot of the things that you brought up on this. So certainly we don't need that many golf courses. Some solar paneling would be good. Cut back on the water. Absolutely. Of course, those things. But I do sort of enjoy the campiness of it. Sort of that history of that. This was built, like it's called Sin City for a reason.
Yeah.
It was built by the mob.
Yes,
Let's remember this.
Yes.
Everything about it is about the mob, okay?
And so you're saying
completely clear.
That's worth existing because you like campiness.
You know what? I'm not going to say no. I am not going to say no.
Okay.
And you're
not going to say yes either.
I'm not going to say yes either. The reason I'm drawing a line very quickly, and the reason I am is that there is sort of this, it's almost museum-like aspect to it, where you go back into like old Vegas and you sort of see these things. I understand that.
Sure.
Absolutely. Yes, the morality of the city is abhorrent. I get that. But it does fill a hole. It scratches an itch. I understand that. I understand its existence.
It scratches an itch on the ass of the world. It's just an asshole of the earth.
I'm not saying it's a good place.
No, it's not.
I'm saying it's a place.
Here's a fact that may blow your mind. Okay, here's the thing. The Strip alone, not even the whole city, not even the whole city, just the Strip, the street.
Where you got the MGM Grand.
The energy that is consumed on that one strip, that one street, is the equivalent to 9 Disney Worlds. 9. That the Strip makes up 20% of the entire state of Nevada's energy consumption. The entire state. The one stat I couldn't find for you.
Okay.
And I was trying hard to get this, and I couldn't find it. I tried, and it's too nebulous and too out there to find a stat on this because it would be impossible to find out. Is all the college funds that were pissed away, all the marriages that were ruined, all the minivans that got put on the table and lost, like middle class dads who wanted something better for their kids and then just got in too deep and lost their shirts. Like how much turmoil was created with good people because of this fucking greedy city that just wants your money. Right. That's the stat I couldn't find, and I'm sure it will be staggering. And I'm glad I didn't find it because it probably would have depressed me.
Right. The thing I would note about that, is that it was built on the ability to feed an addiction. That entire city. Everything about it. Yeah. The fact that you can get free booze everywhere. There's your booze. Not so much the drugs. They're still kind of Republican right wing about that, but you can find them. It's pretty easy.
Oh, yeah.
Certainly there's not a lot of, I'm sure the CSI units, when they come and go, oh, heroin, they don't go tut tut. It's just like, yeah, there it is. The looseness of the prostitution laws there, so you can go to brothels and that sort of thing. Like everything is built around feeding addiction. Yeah. And if there's one thing our society has, is that ability to create addictions for itself. So that's what it's feeding on. So I think it's more to the point that yes, all these things are happening truly. But if people were able to moderate their own urges and not put their minivan and the college funds and all those things on that table, it would be a different focus. Admittedly, it's not a city built on self-control. And if you go in with the aspect of self-control, then you can enjoy it, I think, for what it is on the face of it. But you're right. There is a lot of glut in that drives that machine to get the people in there that are, sort of the weaker in the herd in terms of their ability to self-control and then lose their shit.
And the investment in capitalizing on weakness. Right. The investment in actually spending money and giving thought to how can we really, really fuck you. Yeah. How can we screw you in every way possible? Let's try and be crafty and cunning and creative in the manner in which we can suck every fucking dime out of you before you leave. Okay. That I have a problem with. And if it was bombed tomorrow, if everybody was cleared out, I think our continent would be a little better off.
So what I'm getting from this, if I'm getting anything from this, that I am not inviting you to my wedding at the Flamingo Hilton. That's it.
And that's the thing. It was great to hang out with friends.
Of course.
But we could have done that anywhere in the world.
I know. You could have done it in Chicago.
Let's go to Baghdad
Let's go get a deep
first.
dish and get a Red Hot.
Like, I'll go to Kandahar before let's go anywhere else.
They'll put a gun in your hands, you jackass. And all it takes is like one mob guy to go to Kandahar going, there's oil here. True. All we need is a casino. And then they rope it off and that's it.
My point is I'm trying to get a job in the anti-chamber of commerce for Las Vegas.
Sure. Okay.
If that exists.
The anti-chamber of
whatever
commerce.
That is.
Never shake hands with members of the Chamber of Commerce.
Whatever the anti-tourism board for Las Vegas is what I want to be.
I believe
it starts here.
I believe that's a tourism board for Utah.
Starts right here.
Okay.
Right here.
All right. Right there.
On the TVA podcast.
All right.
Yep.
Welcome to Comedy Above the Pub, by the way. This has been all laughs all the time. So there we are. Derek, thank you so much for coming down, man.
Thank you.
This is awesome. I always love debates with you.
They're
fantastic.
Now a word from Hey.
Hey. Thank you for listening. You can find me personally on Twitter. Hey, it's TVA. That's with an @ symbol in front. Find this very podcast, CATP podcast. That is right, folks. CATP. Go to iTunes. Give us a rating. Give us a rating and let us know what you thought about this episode, about the debate, where you stand on it. You can do that in the show notes at comedyabovethepub.com. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Derek Forgie across from me, the lovely TV camera that you were going to see. I can't wait to see how much weight I need to leave after this one. Where do you find your comedy? Not in Vegas, apparently, but above the pub.
Hey.